Hanging them out. And there we are. There we are. Where they updated my name from Gamer Bro to Zion. Oh, okay. It's all you. That makes it easier. Pulsar, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate you. All right, guys. Yeah, as we were saying, lots of really good content today. It's going to be great. I want to get right into it right away and give our first victim a call. Let's get into it. Hello, my friend. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Living the dream, my friend. Living the dream, and get to work with you, and that's awesome. So I want to thank you again for taking the time and doing this, committing financially and your time. Tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been playing Valorant for? What are your goals, and what do you struggle with the most?
I've been playing Valorant for maybe 3 or 4 months now, so I'm still kind of new. I kind of went into it casually gonna play more of like because I used to play other games more, but then I was kind of got into the competitive thing. I was like, oh, this is a fun game and stuff, and then some goals. I don't really have any goals. I just want to like. It's always a plus to rank up, but it's not like a necessity.
Okay. And what's your rank right now, currently?
Silver 3.
Silver 3. I don't think I have a silver attached here. Shit. You're going to be gold today.
I'm actually 3 RR off of gold. So.
Okay, you're gold. You're gold.
Yeah.
More specifically, you're going to be gold 3.
Okay, all good.
You just shot so far ahead already. Just like within a few seconds. So a few seconds. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. He's already ranking up. So, I'm sorry if I missed it. What sort of things do you feel you struggle with the most?
I'm very inconsistent. I'm not consistent. So and like I feel like rotating. I feel like I struggle with sometimes, and and sometimes I just do like super stupid stuff.
Okay.
And so like
define super stupid.
I feel like I know what I should be doing, but I don't like consciously like try and do that all the time.
Okay.
Every time.
So it's almost like a mental block, or maybe it's like
just I'm not like focused.
Not focused. Not okay. What do you think you're not focused? What's causing that?
I don't know. Just like I don't know.
No. Okay. Is it possible it could be emotion related?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love the VOD that you sent me, and I'm gonna ask your permission to go a little bit deeper into this, which is gonna transcend the lesson today. We're gonna be going into a little bit of life lessons. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, awesome. So we're gonna be really digging deep into why our emotions are currently owning us, right? Where we're not dominating them, they're dominating us. And I think it's one of the major roots as to why you're inconsistent, because you're putting a ton of energy, a ton of effort into what your teammates are doing, for example, but we're not controlling ourselves. Would you agree, disagree?
Yeah,
okay.
I agree.
And I can give you examples right away, right? As soon as we load up this VOD, we're already opening with a little bit of negativity. And I just want you to listen to what you say here. It comes up pretty soon. Linary, how's it going? Welcome in. It's going into your brain, Lindsay says. Yep, that's right. Revy, how you doing? Good to see you. Linary is a big W.
No way.
Here we go.
What?
Can you see this okay, by the way?
Yeah, it's
Okay, perfect. Where are these gonna die? Oh, God.
I want to fill, dude.
All right. So you're already kind of setting yourself up for a little bit of negative emotion. Do you know what I mean? Like you're saying, I don't want to
Yeah.
fill, I don't want to do all this other stuff. Well,
Right, yeah.
the first thing I want to look at, right? Oh my god, no. We're already starting off. Thank you, Lunari. Oh my god. I did, guys, on Sunday I did 320. So, hey, Coach Worthy, any tips on how to VOD review my own gameplay? I would say watch this one and then see if you can relate some of the issues that might be happening here to your own. I want 500 push-ups in this stream. No, Thoughtless, don't do that to me. For you guys, just so you're fully clear, Thoughtless is a client of mine, good friend of mine as well. He's also the editor of the website Gamers Coaching Academy. So if you guys need tips on how to build a website or anything like that, I'm sure he can help you out. But he wants to see me suffer, so don't listen to him. All right, don't listen to him because I've made him suffer many a times in the last 5-6 years. So actually excited for this VOD review because I play Astra a lot on Pearl. Cool. Yeah, so
I'm not good with smokes.
see, okay, so there's a few things that are happening here, right? If we were to really break this down, first of all, you're upset because you need to, I'm gonna go quotation marks, fill here, right? Because the first thing is that you're playing in silver, and yes, the comp can definitely affect things, especially if they don't have a controller. You definitely need a controller for sure. But that being said, you don't need to really put too much effort into making the most ideal comp. I've seen 5 duelists work, right? Like it does work.
Yeah.
It's just not ideal, right? So in this rank, gold and below, you could probably still get away with like not having the greatest comp in the world and just working with what works best for you. What characters do you normally play?
Well, I used to only play Chamber, but with the new update, I don't think I'm gonna be playing him much anymore. So when I heard the changes to Chamber were coming out, I started playing like Jet more and Phoenix.
Okay, cool. And you know what? I love Phoenix because Phoenix in your rank is like the perfect carry character, right?
And
Like
Sky is pretty good. I like Sky Unbind.
Sky could be a little bit more complicated, I find personally, but the reason why I like Phoenix is that he can fill all the roles, right? So you don't have to rely on anyone. Your wall is like a controller ability. Your flash is an initiator. Your ult is a great duelist ability, right? Your fireball and your wall can heal you, so you don't even need to have like a Sage or Sky to heal yourself. You can literally just carry with that client or with that agent. So definitely, I agree. I think that's definitely at the lower ranks a really great way to get yourself out of the shithole, which is bronze, silver, and gold.
Yeah.
That being said, right, you're talking about filling. You're already looking at an less than ideal comp as it is, right? And we're kind of concerning ourselves with negativity of having to fill. Take a look at your comp right now. What do you have? Holy shit, Linary. I don't.
3 duelists.
Yeah, you got 3 duelists, right? And it's already less than ideal, right? You got 3 people insta-locking, characters that aren't the greatest to work together, right? So it's already a little bit of a shit show as it is. So you don't necessarily need to fill. It would be good for you to fill, but you don't need to. And at the end of the day, your job here, more than anything, if you are to fill, accept it for what it is. It is what it is, right? Someone has to do it. And it doesn't mean that you can't top frag. Doesn't mean that you can't have impact. It's just a different style of impact, right? So when you start saying things like this to yourself,
Smokes for this map, I think. I'm not good with smokes.
I'm not good with smokes, right? This is a mindset called the fixed mindset, right? It's saying that there's no way in hell I'll ever do well with this, which in my opinion, I would say that that's a lie, right? I think you can do well with it. I think you can be good with it. I think every character has the ability to one-shot headshot someone, right? So I guess it matters on what do you define as good as a controller? What would make you a good controller? What's your measure? What's your measurable?
Just impact, I guess.
And what does impact mean?
Playing well with your team and like getting kills, I guess.
Getting kills. most people say it's getting kills, right?
Right. Yeah.
As a controller, that's not really too big of a concern, right? For your job, as a controller, I want you to think of it this way, right? You should be the last one alive, typically, and you should be clutching out the round. So you can say that your direct marker is how you deal with end game, right? I talk about several times how there's 3 phases to a fight or into a round. There's the beginning, middle, and the end, right? The end is your bread and butter, right? You're the one that's going to be dealing with all these deaths from all these duelists. You're the one clutching out the round. That's really the measurable for you.
Yeah.
So for you, it's more so how many round wins have I got on our belt? How many times have I clutched? How many times have I defused the bomb? How many times have I planted the bomb? Those are the things you want to be looking at. Those are your measurables, right?
Okay.
And then on further point, you want to be setting these 3 up for success. That's your job. That's your mentality. You're trying to make Embolical, Minato's, and Ponchi's job here so freaking easy. That's all you want to do, okay? And by extension, by you setting them up, they go into the site, and you can bait them for free kills, since kills are so important to you, okay? So that's what you're thinking about more than anything. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay? I don't want to hear you say you can't do something, right? You can now say, instead of that, say, I'm not great with this yet, but with practice, my determination can make me a good controller. That's what you need to be saying to yourself, right? And some form of that
I'm not good with
is
smokes.
super important. Okay?
I can't dodge anymore.
Can't dodge anymore. you're already telling yourself you need to leave this game, which is, it's
Yeah. Not the best.
yeah. And I've talked about this before, where you need to be in a state of mind, right, where the things that you feed yourself, including food, but also including the words that you say yourself, become your reality a lot of the time. So if you keep telling yourself you can't do something, or you keep telling yourself that I can't do well with something, well, guess what? That's more likely going to be happening, right? It's more likely you're going to be setting yourself up for failure. So if you even don't believe it, but lie to yourself, as weird as that sounds, you can set yourself in a much better mental. Instead of looking at this as a I'm not great at smokes, look at it as this is a fantastic opportunity for me to learn how to play smokes better, right? I'm going to now put myself into an uncomfortable position. And when you're in the states of being most uncomfortable, this is the biggest opportunity for growth as a player, right? And this is not going to be wasted effort either, because getting perspective of how to play a controller, I'm guessing, you're mostly a chamber, but you say you're going to go into duelist now, right?
Yeah.
You're going to know what it's like as a duelist player, how annoying it is when you have a bad controller, right? Like when they're not setting up smokes for you, or they're not really like setting the play up. You get to now have the perspective of having played a controller and know what it's like to enable a duelist, so you know what you like more when you get to roll as a duelist. Does that make sense? Okay? It's only going to help expand your knowledge of the game and make you better altogether. Okay? So the things that I notice, and this is going to be important for you as a controller player, but important for you as a player in general, because eventually you're going to want to get on a team. You know, playing ranked, as fun as it is, and I say this in quotation marks because I don't find it fun at all, it's the real time you play the game, or the time when you actually start playing the game, is when you're in a team. When you're in a team environment. Guys, I see you all chatting away. I'm sorry that I haven't responded fully. I'm just getting into this really in depth right now. So great to see you all here. Super excited for my coaching. Moose Meat, I can't remember who you are in Discord, but I'm looking forward to doing it too. Lindsay, good to see you. Severe, Misery, good to see you. Lineri, thank you. I hope I'm saying your name right, Lineri. You're such a great supporter of the channel. I appreciate you. Even Radiant is a clusterfuck compared to team play. I agree completely. So the key here is that we don't need to worry too much about what our teammates are doing. We just need to worry about our own skills, right? So that's what we're focusing on when we're in a ranked environment.
Yeah, and I remember that I kind of went off on my teammates, not like actually talking to them, but
you do at one point. You do at one point kind of go off on them, and it starts a little bit of a fight. But we'll talk about that as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know you don't play a lot of smoke characters very often, but I'm just curious as to why we placed stars here and one towards short. What was your plan with those? Holy fuck, Linieri. God, chill
Dang.
out. I don't think my sub widget's working at all. I don't know. Can you guys hear the sub widget? Is it coming up? It's not even coming up. My widgets aren't working. I don't know why. I'm so sorry, guys. It's so weird. Maybe I can set the alert box up again. Reset it. Maybe that'll work. Oh, there we go. Now it's working. Larry, thank you so much for the support again. We're up to what, 15 now? Oh my god, 150. Yeah, so what was the thought process between these stars?
So I put one B connector because I was gonna play at like the bottom of B connector that round. That was my plan.
Okay.
And then I put that one just to stop them from pushing on a site. But I think on this round I actually didn't smoke it. I might have stunned it or something like that. I'm not sure.
Okay. So here's what I want you to do. As a controller player, you have control, right? What I want you to start doing at the beginning of the round, even if it takes you a little bit of time, just announce what your plan is, right? And this is going to start building a good atmosphere for communication as well, because if you start talking about what it is that you want to do, people are going to be able to play off you, right? Maybe your Reyna, for example, wants to play aggressively. If that's the case, then why don't we set up an aggressive star pattern so that we can maybe support her push, right? So if you at the very least just announce what your plan is and just give them anything, they can now play off you a little bit better, or maybe they won't peek as stupidly, right? Because if you're going to leave this Reyna alone, for example, maybe she was expecting that you would be swinging with her and fighting with her, right? But she doesn't know. She's just playing the game and has absolutely no clue what her teammates are doing at this point, right?
Right.
So even if you're 100% wrong with where your star placement are and all that good stuff, at least just announce a plan, okay?
Okay.
The things that I want to talk about for you, we're going to be dealing with a little bit more mental toughness stuff. There's two things. There's self-deception that we deal with, not just within game, but also in real life as well. Self-deception is a big problem, right? And we have two mentalities that you're struggling with it currently, and you probably struggle with this in real life as well, not just within the game. So hopefully this will give you a little bit more impact. But you are dealing with two things called the reality rejector and the victimhood fantasizer. So we're going to be covering those two topics and giving you correctives for that, so you can start dealing with those things, because this will hold you back ultimately in the end of the day for any game that you play and any competition that you try to get into. Okay. We're also going to be talking about how you calm and dealing with that. And then we're going to be going over some basic movement mechanics and other fights that you take, just to break it down. Okay.
Okay.
This round is all about enabling teammates. But before we go into that, I want you to first and foremost set your minimap to not centered on the player. And the reason being, if you look at your minimap right now, what's going on in A? Yeah, what's going on in A?
No idea. Right. Yeah.
Exactly. And as a controller player, this is so important, right? You might be able to get away with it for other characters, but ultimately, all around the map, you definitely want to be able to see everything that's going on. So that will help you a ton, okay? It's cool that you've got the shooting error on, so you might have been following my content for a little while and heard that being talked about.
Yeah.
That's good.
I turned that on because of you, yeah.
And that, you know what, for someone who's struggling with victimhood mentality, which we're going to be breaking down for you, this is such a good piece of feedback, because I struggled with the same thing that you did, right? I was always blaming the game, for example, for why I wasn't doing well. And I'm like, I swear to God, I was standing still and I was shooting that person. I don't know why my bullets are going to fucking Narnia. And now just being able to see that feedback, you're like, it was me, right? And then you can take extreme ownership, right? So we'll talk about that. So that's really good. This round's all about enabling teammates. So the first thing, what's the plan? And then the second one is just, like I said before, announce your plan. Figure out what it is that you want to do, and let's play off accordingly. Okay?
Okay.
You could be communicating how many people you hear on B side right now. And I think you hear at least two. You know that the Brim was smoking as well. And if we go back a little bit more, we have some more information. Let's see how many people are actually at B that we know of.
Yeah, I don't look at my map that much. I need to do that more when Reyna peaked.
That's actually Fade. Oh, you're talking about Reyna peeking here. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a controller, the minimap is your best friend more than any other role, right? Because you're going to be, especially as an Astra, you're going to be pretty much glued to that map, and then you're reacting, right? But you're also proactive as well, because you want those stars to be in good position at all times, to be able to do something for your team. Astra has global presence as well, exactly, yeah. So you don't actually need to be, you don't really need to be looking across there for most of the time, right? Until there's a fight. Like right now, this is where you start looking at your crosshair and start doing something towards it. But you could be communicating 1, 2, 3 here. You know, 1, 2, 3 on B site. They're coming around. This kind of calm. It's important for you to understand why we calm, right? The reason why we calm, and you're at a rank where people are not going to react properly. But if I was Jet on your team and you calmed that there was 4 or 5 B, right, or at least 3. I know that minimum there's only 1 person that we're not seeing right now. So as the Jet, if I'm playing Jet, I'm probably going to take space on that comm. And that positioning that Jet would get is going to ultimately win you the round, right? And that's where impact comes in as a controller. You know, the information that you have, the utility that you throw, how you set up your team to be successful, to get into position to be able to start making flank, right? Especially in the situation where it's a 3v4. You know, you may think that it's on you and Phoenix to win this round, but it's actually on Jet and her decisions. Because if she rotates into us, then she's not really getting much impact. But if she can rotate through and then potentially cause a multi-frag because they're not ready for it, that round changes drastically, right? So I'm going to challenge you over the next few weeks to really start training your ability and your skill, which is the driver's protocol skill, to really look at that mini-map and just practice calling it. You're probably going to get teammates that are not going to react properly, like I talked to you about before, right? But if you can start drilling these skills, when you start getting the right people, they're going to start doing things for you at that point. And like I said, you're going to create an environment that people are going to want to talk in, right? There's a lot of times where people say in their VOD reviews, I'm like, oh, nobody's saying anything. I'm like, well, you're not saying anything either. You know what I mean? It's almost like everyone's afraid to talk. Have you ever had that experience?
Yeah. Like everyone has a mic and then one person starts talking and then everyone starts talking. So you just like need to break the ice.
Yeah, break it. Yeah, stand up. Be that beacon of light for everyone. Make everyone, you know, want to talk, right? I rank up from gold 3 to plat 3 because of your vids. Oh, that's awesome. Welcome in, Artificial Portal. Good to see you. Welcome in. If you have any questions while I'm doing this, feel free to fire away. Your conversations sometimes will help spur on other thoughts and questions that the student might not have already thought of and create a little bit more value for them. So it does help the chat and it does help the student as well. So thank you for coming in, Artificial Portal. Welcome in. Now, we're going to be talking about, we're going to be going really deep into physiology as well, actually, which is really cool with this VOD. We're going to be talking about breathing as well. I want you to listen to how you breathe through here. Now, before I go into this, is there any breathing problems I need to know about? Anything that's, you know, holding you back physically that I need to know about?
In the past, yeah, but not really anymore. Kind of. I mean, I have like I don't have asthma or anything, so yeah, no, there's not.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was wondering if it might have been asthma or if there was something else going on there. And I didn't want to recommend something if there was something medical that I didn't understand.
Right? Yeah.
Because we're going to be going into deep stuff with my personal training knowledge of the body as well. So I'm excited about this stuff. I've been waiting for someone to come along to be able to teach this stuff too, to make the point, because I know there's a lot of people that are going to benefit from this. You played this really well. I mean, there's nothing much to really say. I didn't really make too many comments. I thought you played, the one thing that I really loved about what you did here is you played around your environment so well. Whoa, that was a perfect triangle. I don't know how I did that. That's crazy. You played around your environment so well, peeked every angle really, really well. I love seeing that. And the reason why I love the pillar too, I've talked about this before, you have 2 angles you can swing out from, right? So being able to swing out on both sides creates a little bit more anxiety on the opponent when they're fighting you, because you can be anywhere, or you can be on either side, and it's harder for them to now 50-50, are you going to swing this way or this way, and then place that crosshair, right? So having those dominant angles are so easy, especially in this rank, to be able to just dominate gunfights. So don't be afraid to look for those kinds of angles. Oh yeah, this VOD, Uni. I think Uni saw me do this VOD actually. Go over it.
I have a
Okay.
question
Go for it.
about like buying second round. Like,
Yep.
should you always, if you win the first round, should you always buy the
Yes.
second round?
Yes.
Okay.
Now there are exceptions, right? So if there are teams that will do like in pro play, there's teams that will go like Vandal, and then some will go Ghost, and then they'll play off the Vandals and stuff like that. They have a strategy for that. I would say in your rank, go for the gun that makes the most sense for where you're playing, right? Where do you think that you're going to take fights? So for example, if you're going to play B long, then this is a good buy because you're going to have long range fights and you want to be able to dominate that long range. That makes sense. So if you can mentally project and predict where the highest percentage range of your fights are going to be, like if you're going to say that 80% of my fights this round most likely are going to be long range, then buying a Bulldog or a Guardian is probably your best bet. If you think you're going to be up in their face and set up with flashes and all that good stuff, then maybe you want to go Spectre, right? Or if you're going to be up close and close range fights, you want that, right? This will secure rounds for you. The next piece too is that once you go into that bonus, then there's going to be differences as well, right? Sometimes if you win that round, you might actually want to fully upgrade to counter the economy of the other team. So let's say that they force buy, for example, and then they have to go on eco. You might want to fully upgrade to secure that round and the round following. But there's other situations that come up. I think there's actually, if you watch the next VOD review, we're going to see a really good example. I'm literally going to change this person's life on how they buy. So that's a really good question.
Okay. I think I do the stars in the same spot, yeah.
Yeah, so the simple answer to that question is critically think about the fights you're going to take, and then you'll have an answer for yourself. Like, this is all really good for this gun. I don't mind this at all. Okay. I want to go back, and this is something that I struggled with as well, okay? And I'm going to take a guess as to how you're feeling. But I want you, Chad, I want you to listen to how he's breathing.
That was good, but we are not done.
That's a big sigh, okay?
Yeah.
It's funny because... Go ahead.
I don't think that had anything to do with the game. Like, at
Anything
that
personal or something?
time. Maybe just tired, I don't know.
Okay, could be tired, could be stress, could be a number of different things. I used to do, it's funny because I had a coach named Ron Rambo Kim. You might know him, might not know him. He's a CS legend, right? And when he watched me play and I would finish off with a clutch or I got a big 3K or something like that, it was like this big sigh of relief that came out of me. I was like, ah. And I realized that afterward, I was holding my breath every time I took a shot. Or anytime I was under pressure, I would stop breathing altogether. Have you ever experienced that yourself?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
Yes. And usually where that comes from, with that big exhale, it's usually because your body is now like gasping for oxygen and it's starting to build up CO2, right? So you have this exhale, this big exhale. So it might not be the situation that's happening right there, but it's something that I want to talk about. And the other piece that is super important with breathing is that if you're a person that deals with a lot of anxiety or stress or even depression, your breathing is directly correlated to that. It's directly related. So if you're having problems with performance in general, your breathing is one of the biggest things that you can start working on right away. And this is something from a guy that I learned from directly, Patrick McEwen. Fantastic guy about breathing. He's done a lot of research. I think he was a trainer at some point, scientist, something along those lines. And he talked about the power of nasal breathing and how you can regulate your breathing, right? And to control anxiety. One of the issues that a lot of us have in North America, and I'm sure it's all around the world, is that when we're in high levels of stress, or even when we've trained ourselves to breathe incorrectly, it can lead to a lot more anxiety, decreased levels of focus, all these different things, bad sleep, like it's just a whole bunch of different shit, right? And it all comes from breathing in and out through the mouth, right? And it doesn't make you a bad person if you're doing it. It's more so I want to make you aware of it. So regulating your breath in through the nose and out through the nose allows you to, if I break it down with science, allows you to control the levels of CO2 and O2 in your body. And you want these levels to be pretty balanced out, because if you have too much height, then there becomes an issue, right, on either side. Now, with breathing through the mouth, if you're a person who feels high anxiety or stress when you're in a clutch situation, if you constantly keep breathing through your mouth, you start raising your shoulders up, right? Now you're getting neck tension. You're getting all this tension built up. Whereas if you can control and breathe through the nose, you're going to have that much more control over both of those elements, right? You're going to start breathing through your stomach, which is going to relieve a lot of the stress as well. So there's definitely a lot of benefits for that. And if you have any questions on that, we can definitely go through it. But being able to breathe in and then controlling that breath and bracing it for a little bit and then bringing it down nice and slow and controlling that will bring so much of the pressure off of your body, especially when you're in that clutch situation, right? If you have problems with heart rate, that will also help control it as well. But the big piece with that is whenever I was competing, what I wanted to do was get more reps feeling my heart rate being high in those clutch situations. So what I would do is I would take gunfights with a high heart rate. So I would go into a death match, for example. I'd do a bunch of push-ups, I'll do sit-ups, I'll do jumping jacks, whatever got my heart rate up. And then I would go into that death match and start death matching. Right, so I felt what it was like to play under that pressure, that strain of the heart rate going like crazy, so I could master it, if I will. Right, so if you ever have those issues, definitely something you can do right away. Okay, might be a weird, stupid question, but how do I rank up properly? I'm gold 1 right now, and I always play with my high plat friends, as in do it and drop. I'd rather stay at my rank because of way people. I never sold you. Never do it because of the mates and just. Okay, it's not that it's a stupid question. It's just you started off with saying, how do you rank up properly? And then you ended with, you don't want to rank up. That's what it sounds like. Maybe I'm reading this wrong. So if you don't want to rank up, just play unrated. I think if you want to get better at the game, maybe you join our 10-mans in our Discord.
I was about to say that, actually. 10
Yeah,
minutes.
because that's honest to God, it's the best way to get better, because you're getting exposed to really good players. And they're both on your team and against you. So they're going to help punish you, right? The universe is going to talk through them, help punish you, and identify where your mistakes are. And that's going to make you better. Then by the time you go back to your rank, you're just gonna be like, well, these guys are a snooze fest. I can just run right through them, right? So being able to play against better competition in a stress-free environment will help your learning and growth so much more. So our 10-mans are fantastic for that. He always stays in gold because he just wins and then loses. So he's going up and down. I mean, either way, I think that works. I'm about to buy a coaching set. Lineri, yeah, I would love to. I would love to work with you, my friend. That would be great. With how much support you've given to the channel, like we can chat about that. No problem. Okay, so we're gonna. You threw a smoke on here, which is fine. I like that. The one thing that I want you to do with your smoke placement, with your stars, I've noticed you do this on T side as well. Make sure that it's covering flush. Okay, you never want to leave this little gap like this. You see how there's like, it's like a big, not a gap, but like it's going into your side. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like they can get in here and they could pop out this side. They could pop out straight out. They can pop out to the side over here. So you're creating multiple angles for your sight holders. So it just takes like 2 seconds to like really line it up well. And you can use the, there's like a, what's it called? Like a invisible line that kind of goes around. You can see the distance of where it's going to go. Mm-hmm. Take your time with those things, just make sure, because that's a big piece that really holds back a lot of controllers. You do something with a smoke here.
30 seconds left. Spike planted.
Okay, was this an accident?
No, I think I was putting it there because usually everyone plants in that little box area, that little corner.
Okay.
And so I was planting it there. I was gonna suck them. I forget what it's called.
Okay, so that's what I meant by an accident. Yeah. So you threw a smoke here, and I was like confused why we threw the smoke instead of a suck or a stun.
Well, he had already planted, so I just like grabbed it. So there was like, I don't know.
Oh, you pulled it back. Okay, I thought you threw it looked like you threw a smoke here, but you threw that from before. Okay, that's why I was confused. Okay, fair enough. Are you sure you didn't throw a smoke? That's been up for a while.
It might have been actually. Oh
Okay.
no, it was. Yeah, it was.
Okay, so
Oh,
then
the smoke.
I guess I got my answer. You don't really know why you threw a smoke.
No, I don't.
30 seconds left. Spike planted.
It's discord.gg/worthytv.
Here.
Thank you, Uni.
Opponents killed.
I don't know why that one isn't working either though. It's weird. Okay, so let's just see what's going on here. I'm gonna break this down a little bit more. So you threw the smoke, which basically helped them get out of there.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. You made a mistake. It wasn't your intention.
Opponents killed.
One kill in the back halls.
Reloading.
So where do people normally play in a post-plant situation like this?
Long.
Yeah, long by the pillar, which is actually confirmed by the Reyna. And any other spots?
Halls.
Yeah, back hall. It's typically what you're going to see. In a situation like a 3v2, you may not see that, but I'm predicting that there's probably one back halls, and then there's one at least at long here,
Enemy spotted B.
which is confirmed at that
One
point.
enemy remaining.
Right.
Okay, so you have smoke in 3. This is something that you can communicate as well. So you say smoke in 3, but you can have them get onto it, and you can body block them, or at least have them fake, or something along those lines, which is what they're kind of doing. Okay. I see what you were doing here. It worked. I think it ends up working out, and they halved it, which is great.
I hope.
Yeah, I think I defused anyway.
It was kind of a coin flip though, kind of a coin flip play. I was a little concerned it wouldn't work. Cheyenne, good to see you. Welcome in. Welcome in. Now, fun fact, all right? Chat, should he leave this person alive in the situation? Should he leave this person alive? Okay? We've talked about how money, if they were to live, they would
Don't they
lose
get more
money.
money if they die?
They would get more money if they die. But there is one situation that I was confused about, and I'm going to correct myself on, right? So my original plan was leave them alive. And unfortunately, if you say yes, you are now wrong, and it is my fault. I am taking personal responsibility for this one. The only time they will get $1,000 and not their full loss bonus is if they do not plant the bomb. Because they've planted the bomb,
Really?
the system, yes, we tested it. Uni and I tested it. When I was watching this, I'm like, no, don't kill him, because you end up killing him, right? But it was actually the right decision. And I learned this yesterday, or not yesterday, but a couple days ago with Uni. So I was upset with you, and then I'm like, okay, we got to test it, because I looked at the money. I'm like, that's not right. What's going on? So in theory, my original theory was you leave them alive, it's $1,000. But in this case, because the bomb has been planted, they're still going to get their full loss bonus, because they have tried to win the round. The only time you don't want to kill them is if they haven't gotten that bomb down. That way, they're going to lose their money. Okay?
Huh. Okay.
Now, the same thing happens on the opposite side. If the defenders don't go for the bomb after it's been planted and they let it explode and they live, they're going to get 1,000. But if you kill them, they're going to get their full bonus. Okay? So it gets a little bit more complicated than I originally thought, right? So in the example on TikTok that I posted, the 3 people did not get the bomb down, but on the last few seconds, they actually planted it after the round was over. And the funny thing is, because they still got the bomb down, even though it was past the round timer, they got their
They
full
still get
bonus.
the money?
They still got their money. Right. So it's a really crazy part of the game that's really confusing for a lot of people, which is why I think I made the mistake, but also why a lot of people think that's the right way or that's the wrong way, and there's a lot of confusion with it. And there's no guide out there that I was looking at that really fully explained this. So it's easy for them to make the mistake on that. So the kill here was actually good. The problem is that you run the risk, right, of
me
them
dying.
fragging you,
Right, yeah.
and then they get $200 more, right? So they're going to get,
Even
go ahead,
maybe my gun.
and maybe your gun, right? So you need to kind of gauge it a little bit to see what is going to be best for you at that point. But it's something to look into. And I recommend everyone test it and see. There is no difference if they drop their gun and they live without planting the bomb. No
They all
difference.
can buy.
They still get $1,000, right?
But you know.
That's another piece too. Bomb planted equals kill. Bomb not planted, don't kill. If they're on eco, yeah, definitely. If they've only got a sheriff, then do not kill them because they're only getting $1,000. So it's an important piece. If they go for the plant, then you're gonna have to kill them because you'd rather kill them than give $1,500 free for everyone else, and then them get the bomb down and still be able to say whatever they have and have the money. So crazy stuff. But we actually spent like 20 minutes to like test everything because I was like, I need to be 100% sure for you to know what was the right decision here. So this round we're going to talk about comms. All right. Now, the first thing is I want you to pay close attention to the scoreboard because there's a lot of information on the scoreboard. First and foremost, what do we need to worry about today on this one? And yes, there will be 10 mans after this nervousness.
I think I mentioned it to my teammates actually that they can all buy.
Correct. You're right on that one. We'll give you a big check mark. What else do we need to worry about?
They don't have any ults.
Yep, so we're
I don't
good.
know.
Check mark here. I don't think anyone is going to get this one at all. It's something that I often overlook too, right? Because I don't really think of it as a possible threat or something I need to worry about a lot, but it's something to have in the back of your mind. So I'm going to give you this one. I want you to look at what your team is buying right now.
Oh. I still have my Guardian, and then our Rain is buying an op, and then 2 rifles.
Yeah, the Rain is buying an op, okay? Whenever someone buys an op, you need to be hyper focused on them
Saving
having,
it.
well, not just saving it, but knowing where it is, right? Knowing where it is and what happens to that person. Because if they get that op and save it, now all of a sudden, things are shifting a little bit. Now you need to know that the threat is there, right? Which coincidentally on this round, that's what happens. Okay, so remember that the Reyna has the op, and I want chat and you to watch the
They all
Reyna
can buy. Just
and
let
what
me,
happens.
You know.
Let's see now.
The buy is definitely out of sync for sure. Ping is a problem as well. If a person can buy an operator, yes, you're on the right track, Melt. In this case, we buy the operator, which is okay. We just need to remember that if that Reyna dies and the op goes down, then things start to change a little bit, and how we play start to change. And I want you to notice the lack of communication you have on these smokes, right? Because look at what Reyna just had to do.
Right. I just blocked her from peeking.
Yeah, and this is important because, once again, we talk about how we want to set up our teammates for success, right? So
Right.
whenever I'm smoking something, if you ever watch me in Discord playing with the 10 mans, I'm always saying smoking here, smoking there, whatever, right? I'm communicating what I'm doing. It's all action comms, and this is going to help enable your team. Now, because you do that, Reyna now has to rechange where she's peeking from.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, which is okay.
It's not necessary. Could have.
But she could die really easily now.
Mm-hmm.
You know why? Because there's only one spot she can be at. And if Easy Genji's in the chat right now, we talked about this last night, how he did a harbor wall and he went through here to here or something like that. But then he had a wave. He put a wave like right here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And when they came out of the wall, there was only one threat angle they had to worry about, and that was right here in this one gap. So when they came out pre-aiming that one spot, it was super easy for them to headshot him. right? Because that's the only threat on the field. Now, because that smoke is placed there and she's peeking here, they see the gap. That's the only place it'd be looking at. And it's an easy, like, one-tap headshot for anyone at a high level, okay? Now, notice all the things that are going on around you, right? We talked about how you need to be looking at the minimap more often. I want you to tell me what's going on at B. How many people are there? What was just thrown at you? Smoke.
Yeah, smoke.
Right? You're responsible for setting your teammates up for success. They need to know this, communicate it, right? Even if they're not communicating, you can still communicate. And that could inspire your whole team to start speaking. 2 people. We see 2 people B. Smokes are down on B.
We see 3.
You see 3. Okay.
Sage got an assist on Arena.
Correct.
So.
Very good. Right? This is the reason why I look at, I often say, you know, look at your kill feed as well, because there's information there. So watch this again, chat. He made a really good point.
Blocking vision.
We're just wondering, do you think Chamber will still be used in pro play if he stays? I need to play him to really give you an answer. So take a look. These are the assists right here on this kill. Important information. Because if Sage got an assist, that doesn't mean that she's over here in T-spawn. She's probably with them. That's 3 people. So that's a really good point. You know, I often talk about, look at your mirrors, check your mirrors. There's a mirror here. There's a mirror here, rear view mirror. And you have your other side of your mirror. Well, guess what? There's good information here as well. This gives you a lot of information. So we know that there's 3 minimum towards B. And these are all comms that you're missing out on. And that's important comms for a Jet. It's important comms for your Phoenix. It's important comms for your Sage. They need to know what's going on so they can rotate into you, right?
Right.
Beautiful kill. I love that you're playing around here. You could toss a smoke or a star right here at this point. This is a good time to do it, because if you throw that there, it's kind of like they got to do something. They got to respond utility for utility. So they got to like actually do something to get through that spot. So this might be a time to throw a smoke here instead of challenging. Okay. And the other piece too is that whenever you get a kill, and you're moving in and around this pillar really well, and I think you could have definitely won these fights if you had hit your shots for sure. But you need to think about being a toll booth operator. First of all, you got the right call there, severe misery. If you throw this smoke down, or if you take that first fight, which you killed that person, what is that person calling?
Me, I'm at the pillar.
Yeah, you're at the pillar to position, right? So they're going to be swinging out on you with a little bit more confidence with numbers. So you need to think about, how do I get out of this position? Because they're going to be all looking at me, which, look at that, all 3 of them were looking at you, right? So you don't necessarily want to be playing the next fight from there. You want to be moving around. I would say that throwing a smoke there, maybe backing off into back halls, could potentially create another opportunity for you to get a frag, right? And give your Sage some space to move into sight.
Fall back.
You hear this breathing that you're doing?
Yeah.
Like, there's frustration here. There's frustration here. In reality, though, you know, what kind of round is this for you? For your team?
We have a high chance of losing it.
Yeah, you know, it sucks that Reyna bought that op, but whatever,
Right.
It is what it is. You're playing low elo, right? But the issue here is that we're in a round where we're most likely going to lose. So your mentality for playing this round needs to change. It needs to be like, what kind of fights can I take that are going to be advantageous versus a Vandal? What kind of positions do I want to take to be able to do as much damage as you can? You got a frag here, which is great. As an individual, your bare ass minimum should have been met by getting 1 kill there. So that was a good thing. So instead of the heavy breathing, you should be already setting your mind up to, we're probably going to lose this round. So what I need to do is do as much damage as I can, so the following round, we're going to win it. Now, obviously, we're going to have a shit buy because people just bought up in this round as well, right? So I would say match with your buy if you can. But in this case, normal circumstances, you did really well in this round. Okay?
You have 10 bullets. Nothing you could do.
Now, remember what I was talking about with the operator.
Match up your never mind.
Well, but remember the operator, right?
Right, yeah.
Where did Reyna die?
By like generator, I think, somewhere over there. Yeah.
Back halls, basically. Her body fell back towards back halls, and there's a red check mark or a red question mark on that spot. So is it possible that they could save the op in this situation?
Standing.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you know that, it will change your peaking strategy for the next round. You cannot afford to peak things a certain way because there is an op threat on the field.
I
often it's all poetry. Thanks for spoiling it for the whole chat. It's all poetry, right? So I often talk about, you know, if Jay's in the chat right now, he remembers this lesson very well. You look at the credits, you look at the threats, and you say, okay, there's a possibility Lineri is going to drop another 5 subs on me, right? There's a big possibility. And it just happened.
73.
I am at 20 subs now. No, 21, but I've already done one, so I'm good. So I'm at 200 push-ups now. Yeah. You know, I am supposed to do my max again. You know, 21.
I did about that many push-ups today too for wrestling practice.
Nice. That's good. So you're already doing some working out. I think if you work on your breathing, it's going to help your energy reserve so much in wrestling too. It's an important piece. Yeah, we can talk about that another time. But yeah, so if we go into this again, right? I talk about how the credits, for example, right, will tell a story as to what it is that we need to worry about. In the situation, they're all pretty much low, but they've saved, right? I think 3 or 4 of them have saved, so they don't need to worry about money too much. And there is now a possibility they could have picked up that op and saved it. So because of that, we have to play a certain way. Ghastly Ghostly, Xylem, thank you. Gamer Bro, thank you so much for the subs as well. And Lineri, as always, you're insane. You're awesome. Thank you so much. So yeah, just like poetry, because there's an op threat, we cannot peak like this. We cannot afford to. And you could read into this. It's a hard one to read into, I'll give you that, because even I will make that mistake sometimes about not watching what my teammates buy and know what the consequences of those buys can be, right? So
Yeah,
I will give you this. Go ahead.
Yeah. I think my whole team saved this round and I was the only one that bought.
Yeah, and that's fine because I think you were following the right order of things, right? And they were not. But because of what they had bought and what they have lost in the round prior is now a major threat for you, right? And how you play this. So you need to be hyper vigilant of the fact that an operator could shoot you in the face. Here it comes.
Blocking vision. Well divided. Here.
I don't mind the wall. I just don't think it was the right time to do it here. I feel like
Too
Had you-
early.
it might have been too late. You could use this as a way of like controlling space a little bit more, right? There's no right or wrong way to placing the wall. This might not have been the best time for it because we almost want them to commit to coming in on this round because you're on an eco and everyone wants to kind of do damage to them, right? So maybe making them come into you would be a better move.
Some of you should probably go back A.
How much does coaching cost? It's $50 US per session. Well, we can have a conversation about it. So yeah, once again, look what killed you. You can thank Reyna for that. Right? So the big piece here, the learning, as shocking as this was because you weren't expecting it, this is on your team. Actually, this is on your team for buying this weapon and then losing it. Right? So for you, how it's on you is now you've learned that you need to track what it is that your teammates are also buying with you, okay? And that way you get an idea of what it is that could be a threat and what couldn't be, okay?
Okay. Bro, why? They just waited it out.
Help.
That's crazy.
Your fault.
Nice shot, shit.
They just waited it out. Okay, you're talking about all your utility. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have
Nice
thought
try.
they would have rotated, but
Last player
I
standing.
don't know.
The piece here is that had you known an op was a threat, you probably wouldn't peek like that. You might do a circle peek, circle jump peek, just to like get information. Because I know that you wanted to get information there, which was not wrong.
30 seconds left.
Okay, let's just move ahead here. So this round is going to be all about the reality rejector. So we're going to get right into it. Emotions cause problems, okay? They can feed into us, but they can also take away from us as well. And sometimes when they feed into us, they create ego problems, which is another piece. But I don't think you suffer from that right now, so we're not worried about that, right? So one thing that was interesting to me that I learned from watching your VOD, right? Okay, you guys can't redeem more push-ups like that. Come on now. Would you say being in shape helps you be a better player? 100%. Zebra helps you so much, helps you with reaction time, helps you with energy. Like if you're gonna play in the Counter-Strike Global Offensive Finals, you know, the one that was one of the more recent ones. I think it was in Germany. I think it was it Cologne? I can't remember. They played, it was FaZe Clan and who was Simple's team? Is that Navi? It was one, I think it was those two.
Yeah,
They
it was
played for
Navi.
they played for 8 hours straight, right? Like I'm sorry, but you need to be relatively in shape to be able to maintain your high level of play throughout the entire time because your mental is being challenged. And if you can train your body to be better with that, your mental fortitude is going to be that much more secure. All right. On top of that, making sure that you sleep well, making sure that you eat to maintain your energy levels properly, it all coincides, right? So the fitness itself, super important. Super important.
Barrier created.
I think we're at
Reload.
210 push-ups, right?
Concealment.
210? I gotta look at all the subs we have. Okay, so I wanted to just point out one interesting fact. So I want you to listen to this voice line that Chamber brings out here, okay? Fuck.
You want to play?
Did you hear that? I gotta play it again because I've got... Jesus Christ.
More.
Oh my god. Oh god. Holy fuck, Mary. Oh my god. Dude, no. Fuck. You're gonna make me not want to do push-ups anymore for subs. Alright, so let me just go back because this is gonna play out for a little bit until I can make the point because this might be a good TikTok.
You want to play?
Do you hear that?
Yeah, he ulted.
He ulted, but you know what's really interesting? As an Astra, when you go into astral form, it kind of mutes itself.
Yeah.
It muffles. So I'm not saying that you can like miss information, but it's possible that you could. Listen to this chat.
You want to play?
That's kind of crazy that you can't hear it. I think it's intentional because like that's pretty specifically programmed, but this is something I learned.
Barrier created.
That's the goal, man.
Recovering it.
Fuck.
Reloading. Concealment. Unavoidable.
All right.
Prepare for hellfire.
Now, after watching a few rounds, I feel like you're very like in your face, go 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 kind of person. Like you want to take fights actively. Would you agree? Disagree?
I would agree with that.
Yeah, I think you have. You're one of those players. I used to work with a bunch of players like you that have a one kind of go kind of mentality. You're kind of like the Mike Tyson in boxing, right? I want to kill that person within the first round. I want to be all over them and just like you're like full on energy, right? So there's only one direction you play. So it's going to be important for you to diversify your play as well as you get better. You don't next actively need to be taking fights and things like that. You know, like these fights here, for example, this wide swing that you do here, there's very little chance you're going to win with
Especially with a ghost, yeah.
Exactly, right? So being able to see this, firsthand, this is where, like, someone asked in the chat, how do I look for things to work on? It's very clear that this is something that is going to be an issue for you, right? When it comes to consistency, you're taking fights long range with weapons that are going to be, statistically going to be destroying you, right? So, and
What? That doesn't even.
and then the outburst here is like, this is kind of where I get into the self-deception talk, right? So
Make any
this is-
sense, bro.
So you say it doesn't make any sense. So my question for you is,
It
doesn't it? Yeah. We often get into these mindsets, and I was like this too when I was younger and I was playing, and we hate as human beings to be wrong at all. We do not like to be wrong. We want to be right all the time. We want things to go our way, but in reality, if things went our way all the time, well, life would be pretty freaking boring, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, where we really get the joy of accomplishing something is when something's gone wrong so many times, but we've overcome it and got to it, right? As at a young age, I used to, I don't know if anyone is old enough for this, but there was a magazine called Nintendo Power, and I used to play games like Banjo-Kazooie and all this other shit, and they had these cheating games or cheating manuals that you can go through, and it taught you where to find everything and how to do it, and you would go through it, and I'm just sitting there going like, wow, I'd had no enjoyment out of that game. Whereas when I played the original one, I didn't have those guides. And I was like, man, being able to find all the jigsaw pieces and finding all the little hidden things, like there was some good, it was accomplishing, if you will, right? So if everything went our way, it wouldn't be fun at the end of the day, right? It's challenging you. So that's the first thing to understand, right? And I believe that you are telling yourself a story right now, and you can agree with that too. So self-deception is a very critical part or test that we must go through in each of our lives, not just within Valorant, to be able to make ourselves better, right? Self-deception is when we fool ourselves into believing something false, which blocks us from seeing the truth and gives us obstacles, excuses, and limitations that just get in our way in terms of progress, right? Now there's 6 forms of self-deception, which is funny enough, I'm going to be doing a video of eventually on this specifically for YouTube. The 6 people you'll find in a ranked match, right? 6 type of people you'll find. And 2 of which you are falling victim to right now. And that's the reality rejector and the victimhood mindset, which is something that we're going to be talking about afterwards. We're going to break down reality objector or rejector, and that is various forms of denial. Would you say in this last little piece here, you were a little bit in denial of what happened?
Yeah.
If we listen back to it. Okay. And denial can be multiple
What?
things.
That doesn't even make any sense, bro.
Denial is in multiple forms. Denial is denying a problem. Denial is denying a desire or a reality. You're denying a reality that, hey, I peeked out with my little pea shooter here against a friggin' fully automatic rifle. It's just not going to go well for you, right? So we oftentimes, because we don't like to be wrong as human beings, we come up with our own version of reality. We often tell ourselves, well, it shouldn't have gone that way because I said so, right? I know better, right? But in reality, you're not embracing the truth and the reality of the situation, right? So oftentimes we'll end up getting frustrated because of it, right? We struggle with it and we get frustrated. And when things don't go our way, it's our often response. It's usually what we'll end up getting, right? So the key is that if you continue down this path, you're going to block your natural ability to learn and get better. So here is a solution. You need to ask yourself a few questions. Is it possible? We're going to go through a couple that we've already said, but I want you to just walk through this with me so that we can deal with it, okay? So is it possible you're in denial of some uncomfortable truths about this brimstone opping you in the face?
Yeah.
Right? Because this is the second round that's happened now, right? You peaked the exact same way twice, so it's possible, correct? Okay. If you ignore the facts of this situation, is it possible there will be more discomfort in the future from similar situations in the future?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Because
if I don't like take it into account and like look at it and then work on it, then it's just probably gonna happen again.
yeah, and it's funny that that happened again because it did happen again. It's happened twice now in a row, right? So you didn't deal with it in the first round. And the second round, again, you got opped in the face the exact same way. so
Yeah.
you didn't deal with it again. And here's proof. Here's proof that it's still causing you discomfort, right? Now, is there fear? This is a deeper one, right? Because we're going to really dive deep into your psyche a little bit. Is there fear attached to your denial of the situation? So let me give you an example, right? Oftentimes when we believe we're so right about something, we're sometimes confronted with the thought that if we aren't correct, people may judge us, for example, right? You know, I peeked out on this brimstone and I should have killed him the last round. So I'm going to re-peek him and prove that I was right to everyone who's playing with me and shoot this guy in the face. Is it possible there was some fear or something attached to this denial that made you want to do this again? Is it possible?
Yeah.
Okay, what would that fear be? Do you have anything that you think could have been? Is it the blame thing that I was talking about, or is it the
Yeah.
performance? Go ahead, talk to me.
I think it was just like a stupid peek, but it like peeking it again maybe over like confidence, ego, or something. Like I'll be able to kill them, which makes no sense because they're super far away and I have a ghost.
Okay, so it's possible that there was fear, but maybe it wasn't so much in this situation, right? Sometimes people are just afraid of what people are going to say about them if they don't win a fight, for example. So I thought maybe that could have been a possibility, but it's just out there,
Maybe
right?
maybe not in this situation, but in others, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. So the question is, with all those things we answered, how can you take extreme ownership of the situation and grow from this experience?
I could be like, well, I was stupid, and then like play around that so I don't do it again, or like consciously think of it.
Okay. So in the moment, it's hard to do that because we react with emotion. You know, the quickest fix I find when I react in anger, because you actually reacted in anger here, right? Let's listen back to it.
What? That doesn't even make any sense, bro.
There's an element of anger in here, right? Would you agree or disagree?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I would agree.
when we react, it's typically anger. And you've probably seen my TikToks about how anger can really affect your decision making. It can make your aim shit, like a whole bunch of different things, right? Emotions can be our worst enemy. So typically when I find I'm reacting in anger, what I do instantaneously, this is my protocol, I slow myself down and then I counter with curiosity. Curiosity is going to open my mind to new possibilities. Anger is going to open my mind to ego and telling me that, no, I was right. I cannot be wrong. It's not possible that I could be wrong in a situation. And now you don't grow from it. You never learn from it. So instead of accepting the punishment and the lesson attached to it, I am now closing my mind to it, which is a really big problem for everyone in ranked, right? So counter with curiosity. Here's what I would say. What could I have done differently there? What can I learn? Or, I wonder why a brimstone has an operator. Let me go back in my VOD review and, oh, look at that. Reyna dropped an operator. That's where he's got it, right? There's a whole, all three of these rounds are coinciding under the same lesson, right? We missed information, maybe because we were angry or we didn't, take it in properly. Now you're learning the skills to take that thing in. So had you not done this VOD review, you might not have learned these lessons, right? Had you not had these opportunities, you're right. It's on basic cause and effect, right? So that's whatever works best for you, I'm okay with. But I find personally for me, countering with curiosity has always been a really great way to bring myself out of an anger situation. For example, I reacted with fear and anger the other day. I was going to the highway and I was going on the on-ramp. And typically on the on-ramp, there's only one direction. It goes onto the highway, right? Some asshole decided it was smart to go up the ramp. Okay, so oncoming traffic, he's going the other way, and I freak out and swerve off. I'm like, holy shit, like, I've never seen anything like this. And the immediate response was, this guy's a fucking idiot, right? But then I took a second and said, wait a minute, I wonder why they're doing that. There could be a million different reasons. Maybe this person's trying to get to the hospital, and it's the only way they can get off the highway quickly, right? Maybe they couldn't get off the on-ramp from the opposite way. Maybe this is the only thing they could have done to make it possible for them to get to the hospital and save whoever it is that they're trying to save. You know, there's a million different things that could have been the reason for it, right? But had I closed my mind to that possibility and just reacted in anger, maybe that reaction in anger would have made me make stupid decisions while I was on the highway and cause another accident and maybe kill myself, right? There's a whole different list of things that can happen, right? That's a bit extreme, but the idea is that there must have been a reason. There must have been a reason for them to have done what they did, right? So being able to control that element is just such a big piece. Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay.
The hunt begins.
We're talking about the student. Yeah, the student is in gold 1. It's at the top right of the
One
screen.
enemy remaining.
Dark circles. Welcome into the stream, my friend. If you have any questions, feel free to fire away. Sometimes your conversations will definitely stir on the conversation and help with some questions that maybe the student never thought of asking. What applications are you using to stream on your screen or draw on your screen? I am using Epic Pen. Epic Pen.
Are you?
Since not all of us can buy, we should just save again.
I don't disagree. That's fine. I agree. There's some people that might be able to get a... Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 2,900. Yeah, you're right. Everyone should
Just
save.
buy for next so you can full buy next time.
Is your stream chat on the ceiling?
Up I go.
Could have asked... What? Oh, no, it's not on the ceiling. It's on a screen. There's another screen here. I can see why you think that. That's funny. I'm like looking up at the stars.
Taking that back.
All right.
Need that back.
I'm going to skip this round because we're going to be talking about breathing again, and there's not much to really break down.
I punish you.
You hear this breathing, though?
Mm-hmm.
Like, for me, when I hear that in the situation, I'm thinking stress. Accurate?
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's a 2v4, yeah.
So, why is there stress in a 2v4? Let me ask you another question.
If we don't win.
Okay, well, let me ask you another question, right? In a 2v4 situation, are you likely to win that?
No.
So why are you putting yourself pressure? Or why are you putting pressure on yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right? Just look at it as pure statistics, right? You're more than likely not going to win that round. If you win it, that's amazing. That's awesome. You know, let's put it on TikTok. That's great. But it's probably because they fucked up, right? It's not because of what we did. It's because they fucked up. They shouldn't be doing what they're doing, right? This Reyna actually should not be doing what she's doing, right? If we go back in this round again, you know, this is going to be a very similar situation, I think. In this round, what did you tell everyone to do? Might as well save, right?
Right.
Since we all can't buy. So there's two things, and we're going to have repeat lessons here, right?
Since not all of us can buy, we should just save again.
So if we're going to be playing a bonus/eco round, are we statistically supposed to win this round?
No.
No. If we're in a 2v4 situation, are we statistically going to win that round? Is it likely we are going to win? No. So don't put pressure on yourself in these rounds because it's going to cloud your judgment on what you should be doing.
Just buy for next so you can...
When someone is frustrated in an eco round situation, I don't think it's about the round win. I think it's more about, oh, I just died, right? Maybe I just added another death or stat. That might not be you, but I find that's very consistent, right, across the board where that becomes an issue. So you are not in a situation where you should win. If you can win, that's a fantastic bonus, right? But if we do lose, then there's no surprise. You're just thinking about what can I do for damage, right? Sometimes we know we shouldn't stress, but it's still there and can't control it. What should we do, coach? Realize what it is, right? First and foremost, guys, you're playing a children's video game, okay? It's not life or death situation. In 20 years' time, this game will probably not exist. There will be another game that will replace it. In 40 years' time, you're going to be a grandpa or a grandma on a couch, and your grandkids are going to say, you know, Grandpa, can you tell us a story? Grandma, can you tell us a story? Well, kids, there was this time in Pearl. Right? They're not going to, what the hell are you talking about? You know what I mean? So, yeah, they're not going to give a shit about the game you're talking about right now. No one's going to even remember Valorant. So, if you look at it for what it is, it's kind of overrated. So why are you putting pressure on yourself?
Way our reign has, I can't. I just...
All right. Okay. Now we have the next mentality that you were now doing. This is the second person you will see in a ranked environment, and that is the victimhood fantasizer. Let's listen to what you say again, just so we get fully clear.
Huh?
The lesson here is when you blame, you stay the
What
same.
just happened? I was crouched. I was stuck in a corner.
Whatever happened, let it go.
Some age shit, bro.
Dude, this is like literally how I used to talk. How old are you, buddy?
I'm 16.
Yeah, when I was your age and shit was not going well for me, man, in gaming, I would talk exactly like you. Exactly like you.
There's no way our reign has... I can't. I just...
I know the pain. I know the pain of what you're going through because you feel like you have no control. Well, here's the thing. I feel you have lots of control. You're just denying it, right? So you're kind of going to reality rejector again. But the big piece here is that once you start shifting blame for why you're losing, that's when you start telling yourself, well, I cannot possibly be wrong here at all. And that is not a healthy mindset. What is your rank right now?
Silver 3. High silver 3.
Okay, the reality is, and I don't want this to be hurtful, but if you're in that rank, you're there for a reason, right? You're probably not a perfect player. In fact, pro players are not perfect players either, right? I see them do plenty of mistakes, right? So to be able to hold yourself to a standard where you are perfect and that this Reyna is not doing well, and that's the reason why you're failing, is not going to be a healthy mindset to have at all, period. Okay? So don't focus on the Reyna, focus on you. And the other piece too, that's important, we're going to listen to this entire thing, right? The other piece too that's important is that it's a 2-4. You've lost like 2 eco rounds. That's the only difference, right? It's 2-4. This game has just started. There's a lot of game to go. You guys are in a gun round. This is the time when you want to have the mentality that you're now trying to find a way to win this particular round. Smagget, you are fully able to ask questions. Anyone can ask questions. Look at this flick. Okay. Yeah. I think you're talking about the clip idea. So I know we have our session coming up, and you asked me what I have issues with. I'm listening to this one, and you talk about anger. He has someone repeating the same thing when he knows there's an op, and it makes me think about I tend to fall in the same habits but attack in different aspects. I guess, is there a good way about attacking certain fights differently, or would you avoid it completely? It depends on the situation. It completely depends on the situation. Like if you know an operator is holding a particular angle, it is probably against your better health to swing it, right? You're probably not going to win that fight, right? And if you do win that fight, it's more likely because they fucked up. They made a mistake. How's it going, Noli? Good to see you. Welcome in. And we have Lady Dark Angel in here, and comebacks happen all the time. You're right, Lady Dark Angel. Comebacks happen all the time. Right? This is a game that it's a game of attrition. It's a game of the long game, really. A lot of the games, we've seen in 10-mans more often than not have gone to overtime. Yeah, you've been involved in those, right?
Yeah. Those have actually been helping. I made this VOD before I played in any of your 10-mans, and I think I played differently after those.
Yeah, you probably learned so many new perspectives playing against and playing with, higher ranked players that
Right, yeah.
you're just evolving
think-
you.
One of the games, every single person on the other team was like ascendant or higher.
That's awesome. That's great. This is it. You should go into that game like this is a great opportunity for me to get punished a lot and learn a shit ton of lessons. Right? It's awesome. Hannah, good to see you. Welcome into the chat, my friend. Good to see you. Yeah. So when you blame, you stay the same. That's the lesson that we're gonna be learning here. Okay. Don't worry about your Reyna. Focus on you. It's 2-4. This game is far from over. Each round is a brand new game. This is the mantra that I always tell myself. Whenever I get into this mindset, I need to break it right away. Each round is a brand new game. I want to play extremely well on this round. What do I need to do? Because you've wasted, how much time is in a buy phase? Like 30 seconds? You've wasted 22 seconds complaining about your teammates instead of making a plan for yourself to how you're going to win. You're just going to be in this snowball effect of just continually losing rounds and continually losing RR and frags and deaths and all this stuff if you just keep focusing on the past and not staying present here, right? So every round's a brand new game. You can repeat that to yourself whenever you get in these mindsets.
I'm the only one talking.
Okay, you're the only one talking. Is
I'm
this a
not
reality?
talking, nah.
Or are you in denial here?
I'm the only one that has talked, but I'm not actively talking.
Yeah, you've missed. What if you were to give yourself, and chat, you can be honest with them too. If you were to give yourself a rating out of 10, 10 out of 10 being perfect comms, 1 out of 10 being your mic is pretty much muted, where would you put yourself out of 10? What's your score? Chat, give them a score as well. So far,
Probably like a 3.
a 3. Okay, chat. What do we got? Gamer Bro says 2 out of 10. We have some 3s, maybe a 3. Okay, 8 out of 10. Wait, I'm 8 out of 10. And I think he's at a 2 out of 10. Zebra's at it. Okay, Zebra, we're gonna do a VOD review and we'll see if we're an 8 out of 10. Love it. 3, 3, 4, 3 or 4. I would say 3. Maybe 2. Like you're just getting to 3, right? It's probably a 2 though, right? 2 or 3 is a range, because we've already talked about how much you've missed and we've only watched 6 rounds, right? And there's still a lot of VOD to go.
Yeah.
Let's see now.
He seems to want to calm, but with his teammates not calming, he seems discouraged. That should never affect you. There's been numerous times where I've said to students, just mute your teammates because they're not getting any information from them anyway. So just talk to yourself, right? Okay, this angle here, if you smoke like this and you're holding the spot and they see a gap, they're going to come out pre-firing it. If they don't, they're bad. Okay? Anyone at a high level, you're playing against Ascendants, you're playing against all these people, you probably experienced this now. They're going to come out and they're going to cross their place right here and they're going to move all the way to the right and shoot you right in the face. If they don't do it right away and you stand here, they're going to know you're there and they're going to re-swing you and pre-fire and shoot you in the face. Let's see what happens. Does it happen here? Does it happen here? Oh, 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 what? Oh, look at that. It's like I can write this shit. Here's the thing, okay? General rule of thumb for your fights. You see that, you run away. And then you re-peek it if you really want to take the fight. If you really want to take the fight, you re-peek it. You missed your window where you could shoot this person in the head. Now, because of how the game reacts with peeker's advantage, they know where you are, you know where they are, but you're standing still and they're peeking into you. They're going to use something called peeker's advantage. It's going to make it incredibly difficult for you to win that fight when they have peeker's advantage, because they're going to get the first shot on you. Watch how it happens. Let's go really slow so you can see who gets the first shot on who. You got hit twice. You got hit twice before you can hit them. And then I don't know. There it is. There's a third person that shot you, right? And you didn't even see them on the screen, probably because their ping is like atrociously high. I wonder if you hit tab here. Do you hit tab?
I'm behind a solid brick wall.
But you can see, was it a solid brick wall or was it Peeker's advantage and they were just shooting you and you couldn't see them? Right? I think it was probably Peeker's advantage, right?
Mm-hmm.
So learning the movement of peeking in and out from cover, from natural cover, is a big piece, right? To getting a lot of effectiveness. DeSanti, hello from Chile. Welcome in. Good to see you. Why is it even a thing? Because these games suck. Peeker's advantage, yes. Peeker's advantage is a problem. Chroma, you as an Overwatch player, you may have experienced it against a Widow. Was it Black Widow? Widowmaker. I keep calling her Black Widow. Widowmaker. That's the only time I ever experienced it when you were in Overwatch, or when I was in Overwatch, because there's a one-shot headshot capability. So imagine a Widow comes around the corner and you see the red line and you can't even react to her, right? I got my spotted by Baker's advantage, and okay, so you know about it. Okay, now you're good. I'll allow that one. But yeah, so this game makes me want to throw my PC out the window. I mean, that means it's a pretty good sign that you're on the right track to getting better there, Cheyenne. That's usually a good key that you're onto something. You're onto something groundbreaking. All right, so this round, I want you to start thinking about changing up the pace of play. And you're an aggressive player, so I'm surprised you didn't do this, right? As a controller, you have the ability to control the entire map and decide what needs to happen. So if we were to think of ways that we can start being aggressive, let's go into it and discuss some strategies for yourself for what you could do to start having a more aggressive style of play. Because if we're just going to sit back here and pop your smoke here, we've seen for the last 8 rounds, that shit doesn't work. So we need to change the way that we play. So what could we do? Let's brainstorm some things. Chat, you can start thinking up some things for him as well. And I want you to give me a strategy of what you can do to be more aggressive, be in their face this round.
Don't go B long because they have better guns than I have a sheriff.
Okay.
So go somewhere where it's like gonna be a closer fight. So towards A and mid.
Okay, so you want to go mid. Let's say that you're going to be here, okay? And you want to play mid. What kind of fights are you looking for? Where are you going to start your first fights?
I could smoke.
I love the
myself
answers
off
in
and
chat,
then hide in the
guys.
Smoke.
You can smoke where?
Even like the door. I don't know.
Here?
Yeah.
And then play in it?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that could work as an eco for sure. When we talk about strategy with like a group of people, what can we do? You mentioned that you don't like going B long because they have better guns. But it's interesting because you can get up to about here, whereas they're over here. Okay, before they can come in. I think, no, it's right here. So you can actually set up smokes to stall out their push into here and allow your team to move up. Let's just say it's chamber and fade or whatever. And then you 3 can fight close range by the time they get through this smoke, if you wanted to. Right? This is something that Joe DeBozo and Dink do quite well with using breach stuns and having Jet dash up all the way to here and then fight everyone in this area. So you can do things like this. You can be aggressive on B and create close range fights, right? Other things you can do, probably do something like this or something like that, and then have people just walk in here and then control the smokes and then explode out onto a person who's, you know, unsuspecting here. That would be another way of doing it. Another way you can do it, place a smoke here, go through here, have 2 people come with you through doors, you come out, and then you fight a guy who's unsuspecting coming peeking out here, right? Maybe you place a suck there, and then you have, so you have a suck in this area, and then you have the person come right out and fight them. That's okay too. Do something coordinated, right? If you just sit there for 12 rounds in a row and you play the exact same way over and over and over again, which is a very common problem in your rank, by the way, it's not just you doing this, then it's kind of like, you know, the definition of insanity, right? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. You know, we've lost a ton of rounds. We need to do something different. Right. So don't be afraid to change it up. There's this unwritten rule I find with a lot of defenders where there's like this offside line and you're not allowed to cross it. You ever experienced that before?
Yeah.
Well, that's a bullshit line. It's a construct that's in your own head, right? You're allowed to go past the offside line and do things. Don't be afraid to, okay? So this is a round where I feel it's perfect for you to change the pace of play and move around and, you know, do something coordinated, ask for things, and make something happen. So they know you're here because of the line. Okay, the reason why you die here is they're following the line in because you got hit with the fade, right? So this thing right here, just in case you didn't know that. That's why they just came out just pre-firing that spot, running through smoke. See, Chrome, you're correct. You're not wrong.
I don't know where I died from.
Said you didn't know where you died from. I had to answer that question for you.
I don't know what's going on.
If you want to fight for
Why
sight,
do you
you
have your knife out?
you can. Were you just screaming at him?
Yeah.
Just let it go. You just gotta let it go, man. There's sometimes I've seen people just run across the site with their knife out. They end up killing all three after they've quick switched and did a little flip in the air, and then I don't know, like shit happens, man. It's crazy.
Right. Yeah.
The gold version worthy. So if you want to fight for sight, you can also crossfire play contact on whoever comes with it. This is something that Chroma says. You're not wrong, Chroma. It's just they've been doing something of that kind for the last like 8 rounds on these site takes. They've been doing that kind of thing for a while now. So it's not wrong. It's just we need to change pace completely in order to make something happen here.
Do something.
Guys just like me, I get so tilted so easily.
Yo,
How's it going, Shockwave? Good to see you, Shockwave Inc.
How are you in this rank even?
You're so angry. Lindari, thank you so much for the 2 gifted
Nice.
subs. I don't even know how many push-ups I got at this point. I'm almost 300, I think.
Yizzle.
Do what Mr. C9 Vanity does. Sit in your smoke with a judge via Chad. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you could do that too.
Yeah.
All right. One point I want to make for everyone in chat: don't ever forfeit. Okay, do not forfeit. The reason being is that the system will assume that you only got 3 rounds, and then they're gonna have 13. So your RR loss is going to be categorically higher because of that. Okay, so always play out. Do not surrender. Any round that you get is going to help decrease how much of a round or RR loss you have. So don't ever do that.
Well, let's go Phantom. Let's go Phantom. You know, let's just see where that takes us.
This is an interesting round because with your stars, I think, so watch this. So you did the take back, which pops the smoke, and then the smoke goes away, and then she dies.
Oh, so she probably thought it was like an actual smoke.
Yes. Now I'm gonna repeat lessons again because it's the same
Right.
lesson repeating over and over again. What could you have said there?
That's not a real smoke, so don't peek it.
Yeah,
Or
it's all
something
comms.
to that effect.
It's like, I'm taking back my star in the spot, Sage. Taking back my star. Fake smoke, Sage. Yeah. Anything like that is super important. You know, this is another lesson for you, right? You're spending a ton of energy and a lot of time watching these guys and going, oh my god, they could have done this, or they even in this rank, blah, blah, blah. But you could be taking every single one of these rounds and working on a specific skill, right? And making yourself better. So you're still getting value out of this game. Even if you don't win and you lose RR, you could still get value on this one. Smaggett, what was your question? I didn't see. What was you can ask questions. Yes, I'm not sure if that was what you were asking from before. How do I learn to play with a team at low elo? So it's different at low elo. I actually recommend a lot of the opposite things that I would say to any other person. For example, get a Phantom, get a Vandal in your hands as many times as possible, because you're going to be able to clutch out more rounds at that rank. There's going to be a lot more mistakes, people who can't aim, and you'll be able to carry yourself out mechanically of those ranks a lot of times. So that's one big piece. The other thing is that you're there, remember that you're there to practice the skills. You're not there to necessarily win. Winning will come as an extension of you getting better at your skills. So your skills for communicating, your skills for taking gunfights, your skills for positioning, your skills for comms, all those different things. You want to work on those, and they will naturally come. There was another piece that was really important that I lost when it comes to low ranks. Geez, I lost it. I will come back to it, and hopefully I can think of it. It was a really good one. For your VOD reviews, if I decide to buy a session, I tend to flex and try to fill gaps on the team. Well, this person's filling gaps as well. So what agent maps would be good to send in? Whatever you don't have, like whatever you have questions about, those are the best VODs. The ones that you just don't know what you're supposed to do, those typically are the best VODs. But it can be any VOD. Just don't do one where you're running over a team or you're getting run over yourself.
You dead? My ult's ready.
Okay, what are we thinking about with this wall?
Just to block myself off from, because that's I'm guessing that's probably where they are right there,
Last player standing.
and they ended up not being there. But I was gonna wall that
Just
off.
save
and
your
then
gun. Just save your.
defuse.
The only issue is that you don't really have a lot of time, right? Like, we've spent a lot of time getting over here. Like,
yeah,
let's
and
just,
in my Astra form as well.
yeah, the astral form is okay because you're in cover, but let's see. Let's do a little timer, chat.
Spike planted.
1,000, 3,
You want to play? Let's play.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 20, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. You had 3 seconds to frag them, and then the remaining seconds to defuse the bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very low percentage at this point. Like, we took a shit ton of time getting onto the site to make this possibly winnable. So you only had 3 seconds. So the investment of the wall was a bit overkill in my opinion at this point.
Okay. Just save your gun. Just save your gun.
I often talk about with post plants and dealing with the bomb, you need to get your ass on site as soon as possible. Right? Because that's when you're in the driver's seat. Once you can click the bomb and force them to come to you, it's important. Especially when you're dealing with Brim alts, or you're dealing with stall out utility or Astra stars or things like that, right? You need to get on there as soon as possible and become the driver's seat. I think you get offered a burger here. I would love one.
I don't want to go. No.
I wouldn't want to go either, man. I don't blame you.
It just, yeah, please just leave me alone.
I love this conversation.
Rise and bring glory.
Maybe like a burger from somewhere.
Oh, I would love one, please.
Yeah.
That would be great. I started playing KO and I felt lost when it came to trying to help my team. The big thing, dude, just call out what you're doing. Call it what you're doing, and then the words that you say in ranked are important too. What you communicate in terms of, like, you know, bait me instead of swing with me, bait me. People respond to bait me more than they do swing me, unfortunately, right? So, like, it's what you say is a big piece to it too.
Recovering it.
Okay, so this round is all about escape routes. First and foremost, how many are at B right now?
No idea.
Yes. So you see this thing right here in your hands right now?
Yeah.
That is awfully bold for you to run all the way up here with just that knife. You had a free orb here. You could have picked it up. Whenever you're on a bare ass minimum round, eco round, you want to try to get as much value as you can out of that round, right? So this is an opportunity here. Pick up the orb, why not? You hear many enemies B, but there's no comms, so we're not 100% sure what's going on here. This is a good play. You're going for it. There should be on site right now. They should be distracted. Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. There's no risk. Go, 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 go. Keep going. Don't walk. Just go. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Faster, faster, faster. Move, move, move. You might be able to catch one if you move quick. There's one on the corner. You can see him on the minimap. There's no way. There's no way in hell. Zero chance in hell that there's going to be someone in this corner. No fucking way. Right? This was a hard clear that was absolutely unnecessary. It's funny because I watched a video. I wonder if Maze is in the chat right now. Watched a video yesterday that he recommended me. It was another coach on YouTube. His name is JUJUJU. Nice guy. Seems like a really nice guy. He's only had about 2 years of playing these kinds of games. So I was watching his stuff and I was like, I don't fully agree with what he was saying. But in this situation right here, this is actually the example he was going over where he was saying, well, you know, you shouldn't be checking all these angles because you should be taking a calculated gamble. I agree with him. If he's looking at this situation, he's probably going to say the same thing to you, right? A calculated gamble. There's no need for us to be there. You already saw them on site. They're probably on site. They're probably pushing in. This jet's probably got in contact. Very, very low chance that there's going to be one person baiting here while the other person's trying to get on site with a 1v1. Do you see what I mean? Like the logic behind that? Right? Yeah, he's a really cool guy. I disagreed with a few of his points.
Last player standing.
All right. What do you think you need to do here in this fight? It's 2 words.
Reassess
Last player.
or like reset.
Slow down.
Okay.
It's just slow down. Remember, okay, this is the mentality you have in an eco round. Are we supposed to win this round?
No.
So what we need to do is gain value.
Yeah, damage. and
Okay?
stuff.
Yeah. If you shoot this person once, they have to rebuy their armor. That's $1,000. So you should be taking so much time to hit these shots individually. And that way you're going to be able to win the fight. Now, the other piece too is whenever you see someone turn their back to you, it's permission to take your time. Permission to take your time. There's no risk, right? And it will take time for you to develop that point where you're like, okay, I can just relax and hit these shots. But as soon as you see that back turn away from you at some point, you're going to be like, okay, I'm good. I don't need to worry about this anymore, right? Take my time, hit the shots.
Last player standing.
Okay, so you did some damage. This Sage is lost. Like, this Sage is lost right now. Do you see this shit? Watch this shit. This is so funny. She's like, where am I getting shot from? I don't know where it's coming from. Like, just like looking around, like completely lost. Get her a map. Look at this. Look at this.
Last player standing.
What?
One enemy remaining.
That's so great. I love it. Okay, so you get these smoke. You get this Vandal. I would go immediately into the smokes. Why not? Right? Get immediately into the smokes. If she goes to a plant, you know where she is. You're going to be able to catch her. If she's in the smoke and she shoots you, well, guess what? You were on a save round anyway. You were supposed to lose. It's not a big deal, right? Take the risk and go for it. Why not? Right? Now, the other option you could have, and this is something that I thought of right away. I'm like, this is a little bit more thinking involved. Place a star here, place a star here, put a suck, put a stun. And that might make her be like, okay, he's committing here. I'm going to rotate all the way to A. I've got 31 seconds left. And what I would do, if I'm overthinking the situation, I would start hightailing it to A main at that point. After I'd done my 2 stars, just like blast the stars on there and then just go away. Right? You don't even have to you don't have to pop them. You just have to place the stars there in the common spots. That will probably be enough to pull him away from there. Right? But I think the easiest one, because it fits your playstyle, Get your ass in the smokes and see what happens. Make the play. Now, this is probably worst case scenario. Do you know why?
Peeker's advantage, and I'm not a. I don't know.
You're right. You're on the right track. Peeker's advantage. Okay, peak advantage. I don't know why I said PK. That's weird.
And I
We'll do
don't
that
have any
again.
shields.
Yeah, I mean that's granted. We already understand that. The
Right.
biggest issue is the two things. Crosshair placement is not bad, Cheyenne. It's not terrible. It could be better, but Peeker's advantage is a problem because they're swinging out on you. And where is your escape route?
I mean, I don't have one.
You don't have one because this is a solid fucking wall, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you were to commit to this fight, the best position for you is a few paces back so that you have the pillar to move behind. You cannot leave from this fight. You have to commit to it. Usually, when you have a fight where someone peeks out on you and you have no escape route, your chances of winning that round, if I were to run statistics, are probably as low as 20% to win that fight. Okay? It's like 80-20. And this is coming from experience of playing this particular game for like over 20 years. Right? So
Right.
I have ran so many of these simulations in different games where Peeker's advantage is a big problem, and you lose a lot of those games. So you always want to be in a position where you can freely move in and behind cover if you're going to take a 1v1 fight kind of like this. So if this person were to peek out on me and I was a little further back, I would run into the wall instantly and then re-swing that person who was trying to spray at me, right? You're a higher chance to win when you are the peeker, right? And that's not to say that you cannot win this fight. It's just if you had the choice between choosing an advantageous fight or a disadvantageous fight, which one would you choose? Advantageous. So always position yourself so that you have an escape route. Okay? And that's why the fight is this awkward, right? That's why you're dropping into a crouch. That's why you're doing all this stuff. Right.
Why can't I get the good teammates, man?
Just forget these guys. Play a 1v5. Play a 1v5. Forget them. They're just along for the ride.
3-10 with as Rena, and 0 comes.
Fucking. I'm done with this fucking game, bro.
You're allowed to be angry. It's just you need to be able to control the anger.
Phil,
Okay?
Yeah.
and then our Rena goes 3-10.
All right. Now, this one
You should be the one
is
to Phil.
very evident that you aren't using your minimap. Okay. So we're gonna move slightly ahead. And I don't blame you for not using your minimap. It's really hard to see.
Yeah.
Okay. Where's Brimstone?
They're both right there.
They're both in A main.
One enemy
Okay.
remaining.
Watch this. What you looking at? What you worried about? Alright.
Casper, I don't know.
Only one person alive. You saw him.
You're right.
Right?
Yeah.
Tips on control the anger, coach. I honestly, Philip, it's like I was saying, right? You control your anger by controlling it with curiosity. Always counter with curiosity. I wonder why this person did this,
Like-
right? It's better to be curious because now you're open to learning about the situation, understanding why it didn't go well. That's your room for growth. Losing is very uncomfortable. You guys can keep redeeming push-ups. At this point, if I've already got 300, I'm not going to do any redemptions. There's no freaking way. You can keep redeeming all you want. It's not going to happen. This is not going to happen, right? It's like 0% chance. If you sub, which it's not about money at the end of the day, if you sub, I'll do it. But for redemptions, there's no way with this many on the board. This is not fair. This is not happening. Sorry, guys. This is not fucking happening. Thank you, Linary, for all the support. I'm never gonna be able to sleep tonight if I'm doing all those push-ups. I had a feeling it was gonna say no more push-ups. No, of course I'm gonna say that. I'll tell you what, if everyone in chat can do 300 with me, then I'll do more push-ups.
Oh,
There you go.
One enemy remaining.
All right, so I want to talk about how you can calm to make things better for your team, right? Instead of saying El Reina here, how about setting her up for success, right?
In the half.
It's easy for us to talk our teammates down and place blame, all that good stuff. It's difficult to make them the heroes in their own story. Okay? So listen to this. Where's Punk? I have no idea where Punk is. Coach
El
Sully.
Reina, bro. Like, what the fuck?
Okay, El Reina. How about we set Reina up for success? That's your job, right? Why not set Sucks up? Why not say, hey, Reina, do you want to bait me here for a kill? Do you want to do this, and that? Because if you can bring her up, she is the weakest link in the team with frags. If we can bring her up and bring her onto our side and make her better, all of a sudden we're all shooting at the same level here, right? That's how you end up winning a lot of games, is being able to bring up your bottom fragger, right? There's a round here, actually, there's a really good video I want you to watch on TikTok here that I did. It's really important to this lesson. And this is how you can really become a good leader, right? Is identifying that this person, hey, you know what? They're not doing too well. What can I do to be able to make them better? Listen to this. This Radiant Scrim footage will show you. Oh wait, it wasn't this one. My bad. Sorry. There's another one. Here we go. This one. Our community has developed a really nasty reputation for bigotry, misogyny, negative talk, and pure hatred. Your words have the ability to pick each other up, but most of the time our words are used to knock each other down. In this clip, I show an example of how we can pick each other up to build more success together. I can buy. Request?
I'm fine. I'm not worth a lot.
You're worth it to me.
Yeah, me too, man. It's easy to tilt like that. Come on, just get a gun.
And you have bolt too. You're extra valuable.
Here, bait me. Bait me for a kill here. I'm swinging. 3, 2, 1. There's 2 knives here on B. It's gonna be 1 CT in a few seconds here. Good shit. Good shit. Good shit. One market. One market.
Grab it. Rotate.
Flashing him. He's mine. Still market. Nice. Good shit. Ultimate was on me. Nice. How many kills did you get there?
2.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Our community, right? Like, you know how good that feels? Right? It's honestly, it's unlike anything. When you can make someone better. Right? It's better than any amount of top frags you ever get in your trophy folder of screenshots, right? When you can make someone else their best version of themselves, that's why I do what I do, as I just enjoy that so much more than actually playing, right? So I'm going to challenge you to, when you have a bottom fragger that is down on their luck, to try to make them better, because you know what? We all have bad games. You know, you've probably had some bad games too, and you know how shitty it feels. Right? So I'm going to challenge you to be the big person, take them under your wing, and make them better. You have the power to do that. You have the ability to enable them. That's who you enable. You enable Reina, you enable Jet, you enable Phoenix. So do your job and help them. Support them to get to the best version of themselves.
Face your fear.
See how you're pressing M here? See how you're pressing M here? If someone's pressing M, which, by the way, I love pressing M. Like, I think people should definitely do this more often. But the reason why you're pressing M is because your minimap's not working for you. Right? There should be a telltale sign right here that you need to zoom that shit out. Or at least center it on the middle of the map.
That's in your settings, right? You're like...
Yeah, it's key player not centered.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah, it just, like, Flow State's saying it himself too, right? Like,
Yeah.
He's saying that sometimes you just need a good round to flip your confidence, right? And it's so crazy because there's been so many games where I've gone like fucking, I went like 0 and fucking 12, right, or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
And people talk shit to me while I'm doing it. I'm like, is that gonna make me better, or is that just gonna make me feel more like more horrible, right? Like, and then all of a sudden,
I had this game where there was like a few diamonds. Like I was in a diamond lobby, and I went like 3 and 16 or something like that, and my teammates were just flaming me, and I was like, I'm silver. There's nothing I can do.
Yeah, I mean, okay, even that, you know, diamond's not that impressive. Sorry for all the diamonds in chat. It's not that impressive. But the thing that I would say here is that, you know, there's so many people that will talk people down. Is that helping you, or is that not serving you at all? Right? It's disservicing you, right? So you're gonna have these kinds of games, and just remember what it felt like to be that person in that one moment when people were talking shit to you, right? You could be a beacon of light to people in this community. It could start with you. You can make, you know, the difference in someone's life just by what you say. As crazy as it sounds, right? I've had some people who, you know, were in positions of influence that I don't want to name names. Maybe I should. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Helena Hadfield. I work with her. She's Chris Hadfield's husband. Chris Hadfield was one of the first Canadian astronauts. Might have been the Canadian astronaut. And she had someone come up to her, and Helena said something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but that person was considering suicide. Right? This is some heavy shit. Was considering suicide. And it was because of what Helena said to her that one day, and I can't remember what it was, something inspirational, that it completely changed her path in life, right? Like, the level of impact you can have with your words is astronomical. It literally is. So you know how shitty it felt when you were going 3 and 12 and people were talking shit to you. Don't be like them. Be better. Be better. Okay?
I'm about to smoke.
I want to talk about the star that you throw here. So you're going to smoke here. Okay?
Yes.
Talk to me about that. Why there?
It just blocks vision from the enemy, and we have to clear less corners. Or was it a bad smoke?
You did this.
Okay. I wasn't meaning to do that. I was trying to smoke off like the arch stairs.
Okay. So you meant to smoke off the arch stairs. Okay, cool. I was just wondering if you were trying to block 2 pathways here. That's what I thought.
I think I was, but I think I messed it up where I ended up only blocking like 1.5.
The thing is, don't block 2 pathways. That's it's too much, right? Because then you're going to lead into these issues where you're going to leave cracks, or you're going to create an opportunity in spacing for someone to just walk in here and just like completely wreck your day, right? So I'd rather you make this flush on something and then like still have this path open to them. Now, the cool thing about your comp is that you have another controller in your comp. You know who that is?
Sage?
Yeah, you can argue. You can argue that. There's better controllers than her, though.
Phoenix?
Phoenix and Jet.
Phoenix and Jet. Okay.
Jet is the best one of the two, because Jet can literally just toss a smoke here. And now you have your smoke here, you're covering that one, all the smokes are covered, we have front sight control, right? It doesn't have to fall on you. It doesn't necessarily have to be just you smoking. So I would say, stick this on the stairs, make sure you cover that one angle, and say this spot is open. At the beginning of the round, what you can do on all of your rushes is say, smokes are going here and here. And everyone knows what's going on. So when they go into the site, they know exactly where their crosshair placement should be, which is right here, okay? And the second fight they're going to take is probably in this corner. So they know, your entry fraggers know exactly what they're going to be doing as soon as they go into it.
Flash someone?
Oh, I love this. I love this, chat. I love this one, okay? You ask for a flash. I fucking love this. So first and foremost, your Phoenix is all the way over here, which you should be able to take in because you know that just from looking at the mini map. So the only person who can flash is Reyna. And I love this outburst you have. This is fantastic. You're gonna feel a little silly after this round, okay?
Smoke. Bro. I ask one thing. I ask one thing. I asked one thing.
Okay. Who's at fault this round?
Me.
How? Why?
It was a really bad smoke.
Okay. Yes. But let's
They're
talk about
probably
the specifics.
expecting-
Let's talk about the specifics of you asking for a flash here. Who's at
I
fault?
didn't-
Is it you or is it Reyna for not throwing the flash?
She probably would have done it if I said Reyna. She probably like didn't even acknowledge it. Maybe.
Let's see if anyone in chat picked up on it. Why is it not Reyna's fault? Anyone in chat? Can anyone figure it out?
Oh, she bought a sheriff.
She has a sheriff. Can she buy an eye with a sheriff?
No.
No. How is this your fault? Let's go back.
I don't think I hit tab at all, or I might have hit tab, but just didn't look at it.
You know what they buy because you can see the sheriff, right? You hit tab right here. You can see it. You know what they have. Now, here is a fix for this. There's actually, I think it's left alt, right? I have my push-to-talk key on left alt, and every time I press the button, everyone's utility comes up. So when I'm communicating, I can ask for utility a little bit easier, and I can know what they have. It will show up, right? I think you actually have it right here. You can see the utility, and you can see what they've bought. So you know exactly what it is this Reyna has. You know what's possible, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you asking for a flash here is a moot point because she doesn't have it.
Right, yeah.
Right?
Reloading.
So the lesson here is at the beginning of the round, and we've
got this,
talked about
guys.
this before, right? Reyna has actually screwed us with 2 buys now. Right? She bought the op that one round and ended up getting us killed twice in 2 rounds because that was her op, right?
Mm-hmm.
You need to be cognizant of what your teammates are buying. That's happened twice in this game.
Yeah.
Becca, we'll get right to you. I'm sorry.
I'm about to
I want to do a few more rounds with him just to make sure that
You
we've got that.
flash
Put it
someone
down.
out of the smoke? Bro. I ask one
And you're right. It is your fault too for the smoke. It is your fault for the
Yeah.
smoke as well.
because if I was in like my teammate's perspective, if I saw on the minimap or something that there was a smoke there, I would assume that it would. One thing I asked fully.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. You would assume it'd be safe.
From that angle, if it was smoked.
And when you blame, you stay the same. So let's make sure we're not doing that. Say, how could I take extreme ownership for that round loss? I think it's from, first of all, the information that you didn't take in.
You have flashes.
Here's the thing, which is great, is
I didn't.
what do you
forget about
think?
this.
What I mean, yeah, you start talking. This is where you start talking to him, and it starts becoming a blow up. And this is everything. Everything's going to be worse because of it. It's not going to help you. It's going to tear your team down. He's already feeling like shit. You're basically. You remember how you said you were 3-12 that one time? Well, look at this. You're 3-12 here with Umbilical. You're now being the bully, right? You can be better than that, man. You can be better than that, right?
Right.
There's a whole lot going on. She bought the sheriff because she was not doing well. He was not doing well. He was not doing well, right? So they wanted to do something. They wanted a frag. So they ended up buying the biggest gun they possibly could so they can try to get the frags down. They feel like shit already. So it's not helping us if we just continue to, rain down on them at this point. Let's move ahead. We're going to talk about smoking against ecos. This is going to be one of the last rounds we're going to go over. And then there's this one more little thing afterwards that we need to look at because it drove me insane. And then we'll do one little technique thing as well. So we got like 2 or 3 more rounds we want to look at. So the first one
Flash.
is smokes are not
So
your
I'm gonna
friend
smoke
when you are against
this so we
ecos.
can, cross.
And smokes are not your friends when you're up numbers.
Okay.
Reloading.
Let me get this so I can ult.
My ult's ready.
Okay, ult. We're there. Never mind.
Reloading. Well divided.
Oh, I didn't mean to
Okay.
do that.
It's coming up.
Cutting their vision. Blocking vision.
You're lucky you got that result, actually.
Plant.
Very lucky you got that result.
One enemy remaining.
Nice.
Okay, it's coming up.
Blasting them.
So, this smoke here, you need to be so careful. So careful when you're placing your smokes. In fact, when you're in a 5v1 situation, I would rather you take dry fights against this person. Because if I'm the Sage, and I see the smoke, I'm licking my chops. I'm thinking, I'm going to lurk my ass in here. I'm going to wait for my most opportune moment, pop out, take the Sage, go right back in. Pop out, take this Jet out, go right back in. Pop out, take you out. Oh my god, I just killed 3. And now this is winnable. Right? Smokes are not your friends when you were up numbers. Smokes are not your friends when you're against an eco. Which I think coincidentally, it might be both of those cases here. I could be wrong. It might have been a different round that I'm thinking of, but yeah, imagine, you know, look at the
She's
situation.
in there.
Imagine if she's in there right now. Like,
Right.
holy fuck. This is not good at all.
And even if they lose and she gets 2 or 3, that's still really good for them.
Still huge for them. You're right. Yeah, still
I'm watching,
huge.
so-
Got to be so careful as a controller, right? That's the hardest part about Astra is getting impact on your utility, but also not like hurting your team, right? Because your smokes can be a problem.
Nice round, guys.
You're right, Severe. Every round is won and lost in buy phase. You're right. Bang on. Okay. So we're gonna see another
I
situation
don't know
here.
why I'm pushing out of smokes and stuff.
We're gonna
Like
see.
that time, Reyna to my left to go actually.
We're gonna look at
And
this
then,
one.
Shit.
So, if these 2 stars are gonna be smokes, right? I think in this situation, if I remember correctly, these smokes. Oh, no, it wouldn't be this round, but these smokes right here would be incredibly bad on Nico round. Let me see what's going on here. Let's go back. I think you hit tab. But I think you're
Nice
doing.
round, guys.
I think you're doing what's called an autopilot. You're autopiloting your smokes a little bit here.
Let's get these.
So let's see. You're gonna hit tab in a second. Perfect. Okay, what round are they on? What kind of round are they on?
Save round.
Yeah, they're most likely going to be on eco round, right? So you need to place your smokes accordingly. You want the smokes to be as far back away from you as you
I don't know why
possibly
I'm
can, or
pushing out
farthest away from you as
smokes
you
and
can.
stuff.
So when you place smokes nice and close like this,
It's good because they have short range guns, so it's better for them.
they're going to rat in those smokes, right? You know, it's a high chance that
And
you're walking up.
especially with Astra's smokes because like the inside is clear.
Yeah. And the other point I was going to make is that, you know, with an eco round, with low money rounds, even this brimstone smoke is dangerous. You walk up to this brimstone smoke, all about timing, this person can run up into you. I think she ends up hero buying here.
Yeah, I think she was the only one able to buy.
Okay, like you see one on the right. See, look at the positions they're playing, right?
How? 80 on chamber.
And this chamber's playing so well too because the chamber just saw the jet go in there and he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna keep moving into these people right here. Right? That's the right move to make. But yeah, so if you're using these smokes here, like this is now going to be a shit show of a fight because we see Brimstone here. We don't know where Chamber is still. He could be anywhere in here, and if we go in there, it's just like not looking too hot. Aren't the Astra smokes the biggest? Biggest? Yeah, I mean, I think they are the biggest, the widest ones as well. So you're creating a big piece of space for them to be able to move around in. Somehow they all have guns? Did they? How did they save that? Am I missing something from last round? How did they save?
Sage.
Oh, they all force
saved
bot.
again.
They all force bot. Is what happened. They just forced and half bot, I guess. Okay, so the next round. Oh yeah, this was silly.
Yeah, I was like,
Bro.
yeah.
Worst fucking wall.
All right, so if we go back, worst fucking wall. You could plant anywhere along that wall, my friend. You don't have to. You don't have to plant right there. I think
I
you're
don't know
falling.
why I was like in the crack.
You're falling into the default plant ideology.
Yeah, I was watching a TikTok of yours about that. Like,
Yeah.
you're like, there's this whole area to plant, some like plant open.
The whole fucking square is plant spot.
Yeah.
You don't have to plant the same spot over and over again.
Wall this for me, Sedge? Or not, or just fucking. Yeah, she wasn't even on site yet, so.
But bigger problem. Okay, I want you to watch this first peek.
Phoenix, you wanna buy Sedge?
So, in the round previous, I think they had an op because.
You want to play? Let's play.
Oh no, it's here. So Chamber has the op. All right, Chamber has his ult. Okay, watch what you do here. He just shot you, and then you go like this. And I'm sitting there, I pause, and I'm literally going, I just slam my headset down. I'm like, there's no way in hell you just saw an op shot, and you're deciding that you're going to sit here and try to fight this op right now. Like, my friend, I can't even hear you talking to me right now, but I'm just so upset. Like, come on. No. Hell no. Hell to the nah, man. What are you doing? Why?
Yeah.
You're standing here like you're like, please kill me. I'm right here. Look at me. I have a fucking kick me sign on my chest. You know what I mean? Like, you're begging for it to happen.
Okay, let's go.
It's a very simple game, right? If you do not have the effective range in a long range fight, if you're not the winner, right? If you just look at the money or look at the gun itself. Do not take the fight. Make it a close range fight, right? You just make it closer range.
You wanna wall this for me, Sedge? Or not, or just.
I mean, look where Sage is. You know?
Yeah. Fucking jerk yourself off.
Yeah, this is pre-chamber nerf. Yeah, it's pre-chamber nerf, I think. Those are the big points I wanted to make. Is there any rounds that you wanted me to go over that you're like, I have no idea what to do in that round that you can think of?
No, I can't.
Okay.
I think we end up winning this game, so.
And see, that's good. I'm curious to see what Embolical does for frags as well. At the end of it.
I'm not sure.
They
get more kills. But it went in. This game went into overtime, and I think we won both rounds in overtime or something like that.
We're gonna move on to 40-6. I want you to watch this fight, real quick. Okay. You're having a problem with your burst fire. You're not. You're standing still. Everything's good. Your ratio is decent, right? Could you slow it down to have a perfect burst? Yes, you could. But the problem is that you're not pulling down between your bursts. You're just not pulling down, right? If we go through it really slow again, and this is something that I did in a TikTok as well with Charlie, so I can link you that video as well so you can see. Like, let's just go really slow and just watch how these bullets are traveling. So up, up, up. See how it like shoots right up there? You could still be pulling down a little bit more. You might have been pulling down, but like it wasn't near enough to the point where you're like controlling that. Those 3 bursts, that 3 bullets should be like freaking like laser beam. So there's some work that you need to be doing on that. Let's go ahead and see how our resident Reyna does in this game. I don't remember. I don't think I looked at it, unfortunately, but let's take a look. Let's see.
Had you, Reyna? You did so good that round.
Oh, Reyna, you did so good that round. Look at that. 11 and 17. Wasn't even bottom frag anymore. There we go. Round of applause, chat. Look at that. All right. There you go. See, you can be down bad. You can be 3 and 12, and all of a sudden you're second bottom frag.
Jet was crazy.
Yeah, your Jet was, I think, was a Smurf, but regardless, when you see that happening, you should be like, okay, as a controller, how can I enable you to make it easier for you? Jet, where do you want these smokes?
Yeah.
Just literally say, Jet, where do you want these smokes? Let me make it easy for you. And then they can speak up and they'll say, I put it here, here. Okay, great. You know what you're gonna do? Go for it. Right? And that's where that pre-round plan comes into place. Right? So yeah. Like this conversation, I'm not sure what she says to you, but this conversation, like, see, Jet, Reyna, you did so well there. Like you kind of spoke her up a little bit. Like you can still do that without them, going through this whole fight. So it's great. All right, sir. That was awesome. What are your top takeaways from today?
Timing that one round where I spent like 30 seconds getting to the site.
Yeah.
So like speeding it up. Mini map, I need to go change that setting so I can see the whole thing. Using it more like a rear view mirror. Because I'm gonna be totally honest, I never look at it during a round. Or not never, but I'm not like, yeah, I don't do it a lot. And so doing that more, and then even that burst thing, pulling down more. I don't know.
Yeah. Like how your smokes are handled in certain number of situations.
Yeah, making them flush with stuff.
So here's what I'm going to say to you: you're not allowed to get upset with your rank at all until you have mastered your minimap. You have no room to complain. All right.
Okay.
If you master your minimap skills and how you're looking at it, you should have an automatic diamond. Like it says that simple, right?
Really?
You will, 100%, right? And what I mean by mastering is to the point where you're like me and you can predict exactly where everyone's going to be when they're going to be, right? That will take you a lot of time. But this is the most important skill over any gunfight or any aim thing that you can possibly do. If you can figure out your minimap and learn how to read it properly and make accurate decisions off of it, you are going to rank up easily. You don't even have to take gunfights. You just get to the post plant right away because you know exactly where you need to go, right? Like it's honestly game changing. So this is your number one priority. You are not allowed to be angry at this game until that has become perfect. It's just that simple. Okay? If I hear in 10 mans you get angry, there's going to be hell to play. There's going to be some hell to pay, okay? Because you need to work on this, and it takes a long time to get down, okay? But it's the most important piece in all of Valorant. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Awesome, my friend. I had a great time today. Thank you so much for your time and working with me and doing this and letting me teach some new lessons.
No problem.
Yeah, I'd love to do more.
It was very helpful, I think.
Good. And some of the stuff that we talked about, like the mental toughness stuff, I want you to review that because it's not just Valorant that this is applicable in, right? There's a lot of aspects of your life.
Right.
Where this stuff will hold you back from being a top performer. So it's helped me